So to recover, it is the right thing to self-analyze, but we have a frame in which we have to self-analyze, because the frame is happening between self-doubt and self-love. And if you have total self-doubt, that is the same like self-hate. So self-doubt can be healthy and is necessary, but self-doubt can be very destructive as well. The same with self-love, because self-love is essential, it's very important, but it can be also very destructive. The wrong kind of self-love, the grandiose kind of self-love, can be destructive. So how do you find the right balance between self-doubt and self-love? To analyze yourself means to doubt yourself, means to investigate yourself, means to become very aware. When you have experienced extreme experiences like narcissistic or psychopathic abuse, is most likely you're already hypervigilant. So you have been pushed to a survival mode, to trauma responses, to fight and flight syndrome, and so on. So part of this can be hypervigilance, can be self-doubt. Disbalance. There's a disbalance. There is a high mode of alert. You're like inflamed. You're nervous. Something's going on. And of course, the narcissist or the psychopath wants you to doubt yourself. Essentially, on the ground level, they want you to doubt yourself to a degree that you doubt everything in you and you give up on your self-concepts. Because then you are on par with them. The narcissist or the psychopath has not got the self-concept. They don't know who they are. Therefore, they have to mimic other people, copy them, and attack them and make them self-doubt. Gaslighting means to question people, or the concept of what people do. For a narcissist or a psychopath, it's very alien if you have principles, if you're authentic, if you don't have to think about in the morning why you should be motivated to get up, why you're happy, what role to play, what strategy to run. For them, it's very alien if all of this comes effortless to you. They think it's a kind of fake. What's happening with this person? Why is this person having got? Why does this person have a real, authentic personality core? They can't grasp this. Therefore, they want to destroy this. Okay. Anyway, it's about so the self analysis, the self-doubt, to look inside, to reflect, to check out every part of you and become hyper aware is important and is good. But it is also strange, because you might know this. If you do something innocently unaware, it's easy to do it. You just do it. You have never been aware of how you do it. You just do it, and it was all good. It was perfect. But now you're aware of it, and now it's not so easy to do it anymore. Because suddenly you're aware, oh, all my self-concepts are fantasies. Fantasies can be very narcissistic, but fantasies are also necessary and healthy. So You will go through a lot of checks and balances. You will find out about introjects, which introjects are negative, which are not yours. What is your inner voice? And why did it follow the wrong voices for so long? And so on and so on. So you have a lot of check to do and discard a lot and build up again that what has been silenced, your authentic self, and so on. So, what am I trying to tell you? What am I trying to tell myself? I'm trying to tell myself that it is right to self-analyze and to be hyper-vigilant and make an extreme aware, make yourself extreme aware. And this happens within the limits of self-doubt and self-love. Because if you doubt everything that you are and you discard everything you are, there's nobody left. That would not be good. Don't doubt your cause. Don't doubt the good core of you, your healthy core. But doubt the introjects of the narcissist, the voices that don't like you, the doubt that is benevolent to you. If you have a doubt in your abilities, that is bad. If you are doubting a voice that is sadistic or cruel, this is good. You don't need that. That's not yours. That's a narcissistic personality trait. That's coming from them. If you have a voice that tells you that you're unlovable, or that you're inferior, or that you should be full of shame or anxiety, that's coming from the narcissist or the psychopath. That's not your voice. That's not your introject. That has been planted in your mind. So discard this. Get rid of that. It belongs to them. They have used projective identification, acting out, and training, gaslighting to program your mind. Get rid of that. So it's helpful to go to places where you have been before you went into the abusive family units, relationship, to remember, to reconnect to memories of your past. Meet day ones, real friends that have no connection to the narcissistic family unit. These are the only ones who are not weaponized against you. These are the only ones who are not weaponized against you. And they help you to reconnect to who you really are. They know you. They know who you are. And they will not be influenced by the narcissist and psychopath. And if you tell them, I was in connection with this psychopath and this narcissist, I have done this and this, they will believe you. And when the narcissist hoovers them to try to turn them against you, these are the only people who will stick to your side. The day ones, only those that don't have any connection to them anyway. So, find the self-doubt that is benevolent for you, that is not malicious, the right self-doubt, and find the right self-love, the self-love that is unconditional and that is not based on your performance or whatever. You just love yourself. That's, but it's not a grandiose form of self-love, okay? So the narcissist activates in you narcissistic defense responses. Okay, if I tell you something that I don't like, okay? So Sam Vaknin would say, all empaths are narcissists. No exceptions, okay? And this will create a narcissistic response in you, because you say, well, I am an empath and I'm not a narcissist. And this is narcissistic. This reaction is a narcissistic defense. Somebody questions you and you react. You feel your grandiosity is attacked. Your core, your self-concept is under attack. Therefore, you have to defend yourself. That's a narcissistic thing happening, and it can be healthy. So the problem with narcissistic abuse is that first we learn to understand the narcissistic personality. and the form of abuse. And then we start to hate it even more and reject it. But then we have to love this part that the narcissist has in ourselves as well, because it's part of a healthy human being. The narcissist is a shadow of a healthy human being. It's a impaired version of a human being. And so this means you have the narcissistic side in yourself, but much more. The narcissist has only the narcissistic side. That's why it is a very dangerous personality disorder, okay? So you also have these responses activated, and now you're aware of them, and you might hate them. But the reason why you was vulnerable for narcissistic abuse is of course because you was not aware what it is, but also in some cases, I think in my case this was the thing, that the narcissistic part was suppressed in me like a shadow. Like I did not allow myself to be narcissistic, and I also did not allow myself to have any psychopathic traits like being goal-oriented, having not too much empathy with other people, think about myself first. This is what a psychopath does to the extreme. They only think of themselves, they're only goal-oriented, they're absolutely emotionless, or without any empathy. In other words, you have to implement these parts into your personality as well, but just to a healthy degree, and don't give up on your empathy. Don't become cruel, don't become sadistic, but you need a little bit of this, just a little bit, to spice up your life and also to deal with these people. Give them the same side, all right? You need to be strategic, goal-driven, and a little bit grandiose. And what is this little bit of grandiosity and healthy narcissism? It's to be innocently arrogant. I would never have thought that I say something like that. I was thinking arrogance is always all bad. But it was unaware. I was unaware of everything. I was not aware that self-concepts are fantasies. I was not aware that reality is a shared fantasy with everybody that is based on consensus. I was not aware that self-doubt is healthy to a certain degree, but if you doubt yourself too much, this is the same as being depressive and having low confidence. I was not aware that self-love can be malignant if you have a grandiose sense of self, which means you believe that you are God and there is nobody else in the world. You have just introjected everybody, and you just interact with which is narcissism. All of this becomes suddenly aware. Suddenly, the world changes. You see everything different, including yourself, and then you have to integrate it, but just to the right degree. This is why it's so complicated. And this is the framework between self-doubt and self-love. The one extreme would be absolute self-doubt, which would be the psychotic solution again, so that you have absolutely no self-confidence. You doubt yourself, everything that comes from you, you doubt it, and you never will trust it, and you therefore can't love it. This would mean you externalize all purpose, all meaning in life. Everything that can be trusted is external, and then you will try to merge with this. This has a psychotic borderline tendency. This is an extreme that is unhealthy. Or the other extreme would be the malignant narcissistic self-love, where you say, I am the meaning and the purpose, and there is no other meaning and purpose besides me. There is no world outside of me. I am everything. This is just as destructive. This is no self-love. This is also a form of self-hate. Because you kill the world. How do you live without a world and other people? You will only be able to experience love by co-idealizing people, by using people to touch yourself. You love yourself via other people. That's the narcissistic solution. It is internalizing all meaning and all purpose and the whole world and everything. So this kills the world and makes you... both solutions, by the way, create a behavior that is externally regulating yourself on the cost of other people. Anyway. And all this awareness comes in your life when you start figuring this out. But again, at some point you have to let go. For me, it took a lot of years. It took years, I think 3 years. And now I realized, okay, I understand this shit. I even, the circle closes again. I come to the point where I understand that before the abuse I was innocently arrogant but not narcissistic and not psychopathic. And now I realize, okay, that's what I'm gonna be again. That's me. And I realize that my self-concepts are a form of fantasy. Philosophy is a form of fantasy. Even science is a form of fantasy, because you believe in something. Everything that happens is happening as a concept in your consciousness, and this is a fantasy in the widest sense. All right. Yeah. So there is malicious, malignant fantasies, delusional fantasies, but there are also healthy fantasies. You need to understand. We understand the object relationships, that a healthy person has both introject constancy and object constancy. We have permanent updating our reality concepts, all of these things. But at some point we can let go of this hyper-analyzing, hyper-reflectiveness, and just live, Yeah. So I just wanted to point this out, so that we are now at the point where we started, right? Nothing changed. It's just that we became more aware of these things. That's all. And then we even realized that now we can let go the awareness again. In other words, nothing changed. That's insane. We go through pain, learning process, change, and all of that years of giving up everything that we had, and pain, emotional damage to everybody who we loved, and including the people that we loved. They also got damaged from that. And all of that just to get back to where we were before, and be able to be more aware of it. That's it. Yeah, narcissistic abuse does not make you stronger. No abuse. There is this saying from Nietzsche, by the way, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's not exactly true. You make yourself stronger when you don't die of it. So it's like when you do push-ups, it's not the push-ups that make you stronger, it's the recovery from the push-ups that makes you stronger. There's supercompensation. So that's what we do. We find back to the point where we started. And all of that needed a lot of awareness and self-assessment and education about pathology. We had to understand the people abusing us. And we had also to understand why we let it happen, because we were immature and we fled also in a fantasy world. More and more. The more unbearable it became, the more the parasites surrounded us and made us compromise piece by piece our life and freedom, the more we had to retreat into some form of fantasy. And often this is accompanied by substance abuse, everybody needs to find some way to deal with the with compromising more and more, giving up more and more. It has to do with inner transformation, you know, when you're with a psychopath and a narcissist that slowly but surely occupy physical space around you and your property or private space. What you do in defense is an internal change. You update your philosophy and your concept of the world and who you are. But at some point you will have to, you will realize this and have to make big adjustments to this. And this is all this years of you were sleeping too long. You were looking for compromises with people who are not willing to compromise and who are not communicating with you. It's a fake communication. They just push through agendas as politics. You're surrounded by politicians and you try to make agreements that you would make with friends or family, but it's not family. It's the enemy. Yes, but you know, Nietzsche said that only very strong people understand what it means to love your enemy and forgive them. For them it's not even a problem. It's easy for them to forgive. But this implies that these are not really enemies. And this is the where you have to get. You need to get to the point where you say, oh, these are not enemies. I save my enemies for later. I want to have people who are equal to me, who can look in my eye and confront me and criticize me in a respectful way. And I will be like, it's a good point. You're really right. You know, someone who can really, really match your power. This is a real enemy, but this is not what they are. That's not what they are. After this, whatever they do, they're so cowardly. They will hurt you in a way that will be very hard to forgive. And I was really puzzled with the Christian concept that says, love your enemies and forgive them and stuff like that. And it just explained to me, only a strong person can do this. So I'm not a strong person, I can't forgive them. But that's the twisted problem. That's a twisted problem. I can forgive them everything they do to me, because I know that it is a sign of their own weakness and lack and neediness. But I can't forgive what they do to other people, to the people I love. How can I forgive that? Why should I give up protection or contact to the people I love? I can't forgive that. So think yourself about that. There's things we can't forgive and we should not forgive. Therefore, I say we have to hold them accountable and confront them with what they are doing and with the wrong self-assessment. They don't know who they are and where they belong. You have to put them in a hierarchy. by confronting them and holding them accountable. Nietzsche also said, the best cure? Victory. But he also says, victory makes the victor stupid, and defeat makes the defeated malicious. This is where we see that Nietzsche's philosophy is not two-dimensional, like moral concepts are just two-dimensional. Nietzsche's philosophy goes deeper and higher. So there is not an easy way to solve these questions and problems. This is special about Nietzsche. It's really something to think about and takes you somewhere where you have not been when you just follow the simple two-dimensional moral philosophies and thought patterns.